I believe there's a disconnect at the heart of Australian mining. And if we don't acknowledge and tackle this disconnect, it's going to make it really difficult to make meaningful progress when it comes to managing fatality risk. Now, what is this disconnect? Well, to understand that, we need to talk about how many companies go about the business of keeping their people safe. And when I talk to senior leaders, many of them have the genuine belief that the way you keep your people safe is you design a system of policies and procedures and controls, and then you ensure that your people comply with that system, with the implicit assumption being that if they comply with that system, they will be safe. But when we go and talk to the people on the ground, they view this system very differently. They know where this system will be ineffective at keeping them safe. They know that this system was partially put together not to keep them safe, but in response to some external stimulus like a legislation change. They are often not talked to about how they do the work, so the procedures are not nearly as practical as senior leaders would hope they are. This is the disconnect in Australian mining. Senior leaders believe that putting a system in place and ensuring it's complied with will keep people safe, but those on the ground understand that this system is not nearly as effective as their senior leaders think. Now, what do we need to do to close the disconnect? Well, we need to take one of the concepts from high reliability organizations, which is that we need to build into our organizations the practices that allow information of where the system is ineffective to flow back up through the organization so that senior leaders and frontline leaders working together can make the system more effective. And this is a continuous, ongoing process. But why is this step so difficult for organizations to take? Well, it's so difficult because it requires senior leaders to accept a very uncomfortable truth. And that is that you can't design a perfect system to keep your people safe. You should try, but you should also build in the practices to tell you when this system isn't near as effective as you think it is. It's only by building in these feedback loops that we're going to close the gap and close the disconnect in Australian mining.